a 20-mile circuit around the forest. While they were doing that, Toad went home. Now, it just so happened that Toad had 20 children. And he told his 20 children what was happening and what he wanted them to do. So the next day, early in the morning, he took his 20 children with him to the course where the race was going to be. And he placed each of his children at 1-mile intervals, spread around the whole 20-mile track. And then when the time for the race began, he joined his friend Donkey at the beginning of the race, and all the other animals said, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And Donkey and Toad set off running. Now, you can imagine that Donkey raced ahead so very fast, and Toad was left far behind.
This is Wizard Grandpa's Stories.
Oh, there you are. How nice to see you. Welcome to Wizard Grandpa's Stories. Today, I'd like to tell you the story of the donkey and the toad. Now, the donkey and the toad were good friends, and they often met up to go for a walk together and to chat about anything they liked. And then one day, Donkey, who was a boastful creature, said to Toad, "You know, Toad, I've got much longer legs than you, so I expect I can run much faster than you can." "Oh," said Toad. "Really? Do you think so?" "Oh, yes," said Donkey. "Look at our legs. Mine are much longer than yours." Toad was a little bit annoyed at this. For, although Donkey was right, Toad didn't like it that Donkey was right. So Toad said, "Well, friend Donkey, if you think you can run so much faster than me, why don't we have a race?" "Very well, my friend. I'm sure that I will win. But if you want a race, then let's have a race. Let's do it now. What do you say to, 20 miles? That's a good distance to run, isn't it?" Toad said, "Well, my friend, that is a good distance, but I think I just need a little bit of time to prepare for that. How do you think if we have our race tomorrow? 20-mile race tomorrow, you and I." "Very well," said Donkey. "Let's do that." So Donkey and all his friends prepared a 20-mile circuit around the forest. While they were doing that, Toad went home. Now, it just so happened that Toad had 20 children. And he told his 20 children what was happening and what he wanted them to do. So the next day, early in the morning, he took his 20 children with him to the course where the race was going to be. And he placed each of his children at 1-mile intervals, spread around the whole 20-mile track. And then when the time for the race began, he joined his friend Donkey at the beginning of the race, and all the other animals said, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And Donkey and Toad set off running. Now, you can imagine that Donkey raced ahead so very fast, and Toad was left far behind. But Toad wasn't worried, for indeed, as you've gathered by now, he had a plan. Donkey ran for several minutes, and then when he was sure that Toad was far behind him, he stopped. And he chewed the grass by the side of the path, which was so very nice. And he had a little rest. There was still no sign of Toad, so he strolled on down the track. And when he came near to the 1 mile marker, he called out, "Ha, ha, ha, I am faster than Toad." But then just ahead of him, one of Toad's children was hidden in the grass, and that child called out in the same voice as Toad, "Ha, ha, ha, I am faster than Donkey." Well, Donkey looked around. What? Toad had somehow got ahead of him? Impossible! So he started to run again, and he ran and ran and ran. And when he got a little way and was sure he must be ahead of Toad once more, he stopped and had a little rest, had a little bit of grass, looked at the sky a little bit, and then thought, "I'll run again." And so he ran on, and when he came near the 2 mile marker, he called out, "I am faster than Toad." And in front of him, he heard a voice coming out of the grass saying, "I am faster than Donkey." How did Toad get ahead? Now, he was starting to get worried, and he didn't stop at all, but ran and ran and ran. And when he came near to the 3 mile marker, he called out, "I am faster than Toad." And ahead of him came Toad's voice out of the grass, "I am faster than Donkey." Well, this was too much for Donkey. He started to run even faster. And as he approached the 4 mile mark, he called out, "I am faster than Toad." And Toad's voice came out of the grass, "I am faster than Donkey." Donkey began to get very, very stressed. For some reason, Toad was always ahead of him, no matter what he did. And he ran and ran, and at every mile marker, he heard Toad's voice in front of him. And he was running faster and faster and getting more and more tired and more exhausted. And when he reached the 20 mile mark, there was Toad himself, waiting for him. Donkey was hot and sweaty and tired and exhausted, and Toad was sitting quietly at the finishing line. "Oh, Donkey, you took a long time. I've been here for ages." Donkey was very sad. Toad had beaten him, and so off he went, back to his house. And he learned his lesson, not to be proud and not to boast in front of Toad. For indeed, as you've learned by now, Toad is something of a tricksy little animal. And this is the story of Donkey and Toad. I hope you liked it. And if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And bring all your friends with you when you come back to Wizard Grandpa's Stories. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.